Let's begin this newscast with all the latest coming in from West Asia in a move that can be seen as another major diplomatic victory for US President Donald Trump. His administration has now helped broker another deal between Israel and Bahrain, this time to normalize ties. Donald Trump announced the agreement on the 19th anniversary of the 9/11 terror attacks. The announcement was made following a phone call with Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and Bahrain's King Hamad bin Isa Al Khalifa. The three leaders also issued a brief joint statement. Earlier, the Trump administration had also helped broker a deal between Israel and the United Arab Emirates. Trump has even been nominated for the Nobel Peace Prize for the same. US President Donald Trump called the Israel-Bahrain deal a historic move and tweeted that it is the second Arab country to make peace with Israel in the last 30 days.
Fully normalize its diplomatic relations with Israel. They will exchange embassies and ambassadors, begin direct flights between their countries, and launch cooperation initiatives across a broad range of sectors, including health, business, technology, education, security, and agriculture. This is a truly historic day. The future can be filled with hope and does not need to be predetermined by conflicts of the past. You know all about the conflicts of the past. They're very legendary. There was a lot of problems going on, but we've been able to work things out to a level that nobody thought possible. This is really something very special, very, very special. As more countries normalize relations with Israel, which will happen quite quickly, we believe, the region will become more and more stable, secure, and prosperous.
A pivot towards peace. We're about to agree on another historic peace between Israel and an Arab state, the Kingdom of Bahrain. This follows the historic peace between Israel and the United Arab Emirates. We've been working on this for many years, but we wouldn't come to this historic moment without the forceful leadership of President Trump and his able team, and I want to thank them on behalf of the people of Israel, and I believe on behalf of so many people in the Middle East and around the world.
And so what's happened is, of course, history in the making yet again. Let's get an analysis by our guest, who's Arsen Ostrowski, an international human rights lawyer and a West Asia expert, as he joins us live at this hour. A very warm welcome to you, Arsen. Now, with Bahrain joining hands with Israel along with the UAE, do you see a stronger force being built against Iran? Also, how crucial will be a Saudi response at this time?
First of all, thank you for having me on. It is indeed, in a region that has a lot of, let's just say, negative news and circumstances. This is certainly a great source of hope and optimism, and not just in Israel, but certainly as I've been speaking to friends and new friends from the Emiratis, certainly a reciprocated sense of excitement and enthusiasm, which I think is wonderful for the region as a whole. To answer your question, I think Iran certainly has formed a large part of it. I think a great deal of this stems from actions of previous administrations in which not just Israel, but traditional US allies felt almost abandoned and understood that Iran is not only an existential threat for Israel, but also jointly for many countries in the region. Certainly that has been a very large motivating factor in Israel and the Arab and Gulf allies coming together. With respect to Saudi Arabia, it's very interesting because I do not believe that the deal with Bahrain would have come about without permission, or at least tacit or otherwise, from the Saudis. We saw Israel's historic flight to UAE that went for the first time over Saudi airspace, which they've now confirmed that they will permit for future Israeli flights. So I believe that the Saudis at this stage are playing a very important part behind the scenes. But over time, I believe they will come around. But at the moment, they are playing a very influential role in addition to the United States in facilitating the peace process.
It's interesting to note that you mentioned how interesting their role is, especially behind the scenes. Having said that, Arsen, with a second new peace deal, what's the message that's being sent out to Palestine?
Look, it's very interesting. There's famous legendary Israeli diplomat Abba Eban. In the 1970s, he said that the Arabs never miss an opportunity to miss an opportunity. What we're seeing now is that Arab countries being led by the UAE, now by Bahrain and others to come, are certainly grasping this opportunity to make peace with Israel and to build for a better future. But unfortunately, the Palestinians are continuing to miss these opportunities that are before them. What this deal is really showing is that the administration, the US administration, and the Arab countries have become increasingly frustrated by the Palestinian response, by their intransigence. And what they're saying is that, look, no longer will the Palestinian leadership have a veto power over peace in the Middle East. No longer will they hold the peace process to hostage. So if need be, they will go around them, as has been the case. And hopefully the Palestinians, the view is that they will come to the table.
Right. Also, Arsene, will Israel's 2 deals with the UAE and now Bahrain allow Donald Trump to deflect attention from the deal of the century that he failed to achieve, namely the Israeli-Palestinian peace plan?
Well, I mean, look, first of all, I should add, it hasn't only, it took Israel 72 years to have 2 peace accords with 2 Arab countries. It's now taken, in the space of less than a month, not only is it 2 peace agreements with the 2 Arab countries, but we should also remember only a few days ago the announcement with Kosovo, which, albeit of course not an Arab country, it's in Europe, but it is a predominantly Muslim country who also said that they will put their embassy in Jerusalem, the first such Muslim country. So, look, to answer your question, I believe that this is part of the big picture from President Trump's and Jared Kushner, who's been taking a leading role of this, part of the overall vision for peace, because they understood that this peace is not only between the Israelis and the Palestinians, but it must also include the broader Arab and the Gulf community. So the peace must be a very much a regional peace, not just a bilateral peace between Israelis and Palestinians. So that plays an important aspect of the ultimate vision.
Of course, and as you rightly pointed out, a lot of credit has to go to Jared Kushner. On that note, last but not the least, Arsene, in his statement, Netanyahu has claimed more Arab countries would follow suit. What's the way forward for Israel now?
Look, right now, on the next Tuesday, there'll be the historic signing at the White House that'll be attended by Prime Minister Netanyahu, also by representatives from the UAE, the Foreign Minister, and I believe also the Crown Prince of Bahrain will be there. So that'll be a truly historic occasion. And I don't believe that this will be the end. There are other Gulf countries in the region, other Arab countries that certainly are seeing what is happening, and they understand that the future belongs to those who make peace, not to those that continue to reject peace. And we're seeing, a lot of really, I think, courageous leadership, not just by the Israelis and Americans, but by Arab and Gulf countries.
This certainly is the beginning. This certainly is the beginning for Israel. Thank you so much.